What's going on, everybody? This is Jeff with Altcoin Buzz. So today we're going to talk about the dip that we're in. So we're currently sitting in a dip. You can see there's a sea of red occurring. Part of it has to do with the fact that Coin Market Cap has updated its pricing against the Korean won. So Koreans were paying a little bit more than the rest of the world, and that has now uh, brought prices back into a more modest range, which is leading to a red zone here in a lower market cap. And there has been some money coming out of, in particular, out of Ripple here. You can see it. Whereas if you look at XRP to the Korean won, 28% of that is the Korean won. So just keep an eye on stuff that's occurring overseas. It's not just about the Yanks, the Americans that think they run the world now, because whether us uncles or you Yanks or whoever you think you are, think you're the only big ballers or big players in the world, I got some news for you. There's a lot more powerhouses out there than just the Yanks, the Americans. And I'm an American, so I have no problem stating the obvious or stating the facts and letting you know that there's big timers out there in China, Korea, Japan, Europe has a lot of pull, and that's the more you know. Australia is starting to come up on the radar, and you know, we've got other. That doesn't even include the Middle East yet, Dubai and the oil money, right? So it's not just about American exuberance or American excitement that pulls this market up or down. It can be straight out of Asia, Singapore, Hong Kong, Japan. Those are some mega meccas of it all. You know, they're central zones for big money, especially Singapore and Hong Kong. And that's why a lot of these blockchain projects are centered out of there and not in China, because mainland China has actually cut off their population from being able to participate in blockchain, whereas the islands of Hong Kong and Singapore are still allowing cryptocurrency, and more than likely will continue to for the long haul. America is also fairly reasonable about it so far also. Now, yesterday I made a video talking about the cryptocurrency bubble signals to be informed about. Now, when I got inspired to make this video is because people in the audience were asking about, are we in a bubble? Because and this is a comment more towards the newbies than the intermediates or the people who've been participating in the market for a while. When things were green for as long as they were, I mean, we had a week. Let's see how long we had actually where the market was just soaring. I mean, if we just dial it in here to the last month, you can see from about December 31st all the way through till January 8th, well, which is today, but early morning hours, we were on the way up. Now we've fallen off a little bit. So, and you know, just in looking at the chart, that this kind of stuff happens. Run up, pull back, run up, pull back, and I've gone over that in multiple different videos. It's appearing like let's see, how long was this run from? December 10th till the 21st. So that was an 11-day run. That was an 11-day bull run for the market. This last one was, let's just say the 30th, right? So this one was a 9-day bull run. So it's looking like it runs for about, you know, the last two, if we do a running average, that's 10 days, right? You know, 11 and 9, right? So it seems like between 9 and 11 days, or 10 days if you want the running average, of the last month, we've seen runs for that long. That doesn't mean that they'll always run for that long, but that's what we're looking at in the last two. If we look at the 3-month, we can see that the last runs were, okay, so this was that one, and then there was one that lasted from the 30th till about the 8th, so that was an 8-day run. And then here we had a run from the 21st to, so it's about, it looks like the market's running for about 9 days. Now, the next thing we want to take a look at is how long does it stay on the dip? So we had a dip that lasted from about the 22nd till the 24th there. And then before that, we had one that lasted from about the 9th till the 10th, so 2 days. And then we had one here where it lasted from the 29th till about the 1st. So the dips tend to last 2 to 3 days. So it's kind of like that. It's looking like we take 3 steps forward and 1 step back. So that's kind of the way that and we're using that not because Jeff said it as a matter of opinion, but by using the historical reference, this chart here, we can see that the market runs for 9 days and pulls back for between 1 to 3 days. So you can say we take 3 steps forward and 1 step back, and that's just been the growth cycle. And if you're able to anticipate that, you can get ahead of the curve on when the peaks are and when they pull back. And if you guys aren't mature enough to accept what the chart says, then I'm going to highly recommend that you get familiarized with history, because if you don't know your history, you're doomed to repeat it. And you don't want to be caught as the guy who doesn't pay attention to what's going on in the historical data, do you? And this has nothing to do with me spreading FOMO or FUD or whatever you unique folks in the crowd like to suggest. When the facts are there, the facts speak for themselves. You can't override the truth, right? And that's just what the chart shows us. So now that we have the chart suggesting things that you can be aware of, you can now do your own research. And you might not even need to be dependent on any of your favorite YouTubers as much, because you now know where you can go to get this information. Now, I'm always able to suggest things, and I'll continue to suggest things, okay? As I continue to look at this is just one dynamic in a multitude of different things to take place, and I think that's why you follow this channel, is because we're able to pop the hood and get the diagnostics report for a multitude of different things that are going on, right? And that's just what we're looking at, is we're on a dip, and what happens on a dip? Buying opportunities. So with all that being said, let's take a look at some of the new coins that are out and about, and some of these other buying opportunities that you can take advantage of, right? So let's dial this in here. So if we just go through here, Litecoin having been at $300, it's on a dip, and it's found a little bit of stability here at this 254 range. If you're looking to jump into Litecoin, now might be a decent time to jump into Litecoin. If you're looking to get into Tron, which the thing that I don't really like about Tron, even though this was the community pick, and we put this out there because this is your pick. When I say Altcoin Army coin of the week, that's not Jeff's coin of the week. Notice this says Altcoin Army. That's you guys. Where we got this from was I said Altcoin Army coin of the week. You guys really put out there that you like Tron, okay? Now, obviously, things are changing now that Tron's gone down, but when this was put out, you guys were on Tron. See, here's some Tron right here. There was a lot of Tron that was put out consistently, Tron. And that was the resounding information of you, the audience, okay? So I'm cool with Tron, but the thing to keep in mind about the Tron is fanfare. And when you see there's fanfare with a coin, that usually means that it's in a bubble, okay? Because we went over the bubble. If you haven't already watched this video about cryptocurrency bubble signals to be informed about, one of the things that they talk about, if we just scroll up a little bit and see if we can get that. So here's profit taking, right, which is occurring on these dips, or which leads to these dips. Let's see here. Euphoria. That's like the middle of it. The euphoria is occurring when you see the fanfare. And Tron and Verge have had that euphoria and that fanfare. And so usually that's the time to sell. When you start to see that there's a euphoria building or a fanfare, and that's why if you watched my video about a week ago when I said, guys, I'm selling at 28 cents, it was because I had noticed that the fanfare was there, and I had discovered that it was peaking because I have historical references to go off of. Because if you don't know your history, you're doomed to repeat it. That's cliche, right? I'm not going to say that ever again, at least not in this video. But the point is that now that you have this historical reference in your mind, you can be keen to it and be aware of it when you see it forming, right? And that's the whole key here. That is funny because you guys call me Professor Jeff, but the thing is that I'm not trying to be a professor. All I'm trying to do is share these nuggets of information that I see with you guys to better prepare you for what's coming and what you should be on the lookout for. All right, so we saw that with Tron. Right now there's still a euphoria. There's a fanfare with it. And I would say if you're trying to get into Tron, this might be a decent price point to get in, but because it's on a dip. Now, I would also say don't be surprised if I say stay away from Tron completely, because it's just it's got too much fanfare and it's not backed by any real solid tech that just because they have a long-term vision for a project doesn't mean that there's anything really substantial there. And we saw that with Verge. Now, these two could still be sleeping giants, but what are the next coins that are going to run like this? What's the next Tron? What's the next Verge, right? And that's what we're really looking for in these price ranges. And that's where Electroneum, they still have that fanfare appeal to them. And yeah, that is the pump that exists, but we're not going to turn a blind eye. If you're just trying to make money, Electroneum is going to have that fanfare and that pump come along with it that might not necessarily justify the tech or what they're up to. Same with Redcoin. Now, those are mid-level high risers that are on the rise, but where are some coins that are really looking like they're going to start moving, okay? And honestly, it looks like this ETHLend has been doing that already. Storm, this coin right here, is probably one that I would keep an eye on. Now, it's sitting at an all-time high, or not an all-time high, it's sitting on a big week. The all-time high was at 19 cents, but as you can see, if we go back, it's up 112%. So that's why I was saying that. But being up 112%, you can see everything's still up over the last 7 days, right? But this one right here probably has a legitimate validity to suggest that it's ready to run. It's a new coin and it's already doing big things. And I would say that Storm probably is due. So it's outside of the top 100. I would keep my eye on Storm just based on historicals of what we've seen with Tron and some of these other ones. I'm going to pass by Vertcoin because I'm not going to talk about that one right now. But if we're looking for some of these coins that have that Tron Verge potential, Shield is really kind of lining up to be in that position. It's already been in that position. Where can you get Shield? Stocks.exchange, trade.satoshi. So now I'm not suggesting that. I don't actually hold any Shield. I do hold some Storm, but I don't hold any Shield. But I'm just looking for kind of those indicators that would suggest something could happen. And this Utrust definitely is undervalued and a sleeping giant. This thing is a sleeping giant. I've said that a couple times and it's already up 85%. Another one that you might want to add is Burst. If you don't already know about Burst, you can take a look at that. So that one's kind of primed in a position to run. And yeah, so I'm just throwing out coins here that you guys can keep an eye on that might have a run inside them. And the same way I did that with Monetha. When I first started talking about Monetha about a month ago when it was at 7 cents, now it's at 47 cents. I'm not as bullish on Monetha at $102 million market cap, but I'm still bullish on it as I was when it was sitting at under a $20 million market cap. WeTrust, I'm not as bullish on WeTrust as I was when it was sitting at a $20 million market cap, as I am just under 100 million, but I'm still very bullish on both of these but in particular this one. Okay, so with all that being said, what are some new coins that have been added to my radar? Because, just like with anything, you got to add things to your radar and you got to stay up to date and you got to be flexible. So Snovio keeps coming up. You can get it on KuCoin and Tidex and EtherDelta. It's a fairly new coin, as you can see here. I don't know why it's not reporting market cap at those low levels, but you could have got it for as much as 3 cents back then, and now it's sitting at 26 cents, and it's still at a fairly low market cap. I'm not going to dive into the tech too much, but I'll take a look at the website to show you guys. So it's still got the token sale, which I don't like. I think that once they transition out of the token sale, they should get ready for the big leagues. And they haven't done that yet, but that could also be a good thing for you, the investor, because they haven't transitioned fully into the big leagues just yet, and they will at some point, right? So Snovio is one that the community has been talking about and that has come up on my radar. And here's another one you guys have been asking for it, AppCoins, okay? You can pick this one up on Binance. This one hit the market. It's brand new, hit the market. People are stoked for this project. They like it. And yeah, it's hot on the radar. It does have a fairly low circulating, or a modest circulating supply. It's not low, it's not high, but in a way it could be said that it is high, or it could be said it's low, depending on what you prefer. But we don't know the market cap, but it's looking like it's going to be a fairly high market cap for a brand new coin. And if we just look at some of the recently added coins here, you can see it's brand new. And we have Game.com, which is another one we've talked about. And yeah, I mean, I'm letting you guys know these things as it's happening. And these coins are not on the dip because they're brand new. So you can't really say they're on a dip. They're just new. So there's a difference in new coins and coins on a dip. So I just went through some coins to watch on a dip. I'm not really seeing anything too much other than Bitcoin Gold standing out to me on a dip. IOTA is just it's a sleeping giant still. It's just pausing. But IOTA, there is no doubt in my mind that IOTA is a sleeping giant. There's no doubt about it. There's just no doubt about it. Let's see here. If I could say there's any other sleeping giants, Ethos has been a sleeping giant that's risen from 45 cents when I first bought into Ethos to 9.77. I still hold all my Ethos. We've watched the rise of Redcoin, and we mentioned it already. PivX appears to have, it's moving. We were getting into PivX below $5. The other sleeping giant that I might just throw out there is this one. And I've been in this one since below $5. You guys already know about that. I would like to think you guys have already been in this position when I was getting in at this price point, and I'm not accumulating any more of these because I already did my accumulation here. And if you've been watching my videos for a while, you can go back into October and see what my comments were about Lisk back then. But this one right here is a sleeping giant. It is essentially, to me, Ethereum 2.0. More so than Cardano, more so than Neo, more so than Qtum. I consider this to be Ethereum 2.0 with a little bit higher circulating supply. And I don't know where their total supply is going to go, though. But yeah, this one's a sleeping giant, in my opinion, also. It's close to an all-time high, but it's on a dip right now. It's been as high as $38, and it's sitting at $31. So I'm putting this out there for you guys to see, putting it out there. That's all I can do. I can't think for you. I can't make executive decisions for you as you run your own head. You're the man of the household or the woman of the household or the head of the household. And no one comes into your household and makes the calls and comes into your house and comes into your financial world and calls the shots. But who? You. That's right. Come to terms with that and you'll get a lot farther. Anyways, guys, this is Jeff with Altcoin Buzz. If you're new here, you can check us out on Instagram. As you can see, we do a lot of community interactions with our community. The market is on a dip right now, and if you just flash back to the beginning of the video, we're seeing we're on the 3 steps forward, 1 step back. I'm surprised. Usually it's 2 steps forward, 1 step back, but because we're in a bull market, it's 3 steps forward, 1 step back. And if you haven't already seen the video on the cryptocurrency bubble and the signals to be on the lookout for, according to Investopedia and the economic principles that were mentioned in there, you can watch that video. It was posted last night. I highly recommend you guys at least are aware of this kind of stuff so you can make your own educated decisions, if with or without me. Just the more you know kind of thing. And you can also follow us on Twitter, which is our most popular community that is building. Most of the people that have not been using Twitter for a long time are now all of a sudden getting back onto Twitter, because this is where you stay in touch with all your favorite coins, whether it be Tron or Simple Token or what have you. And you can also follow us at Altcoin Buzz. And I've mentioned in here how to turn on the notifications by clicking this bell, and you'll get notified every time we drop a video. Or every time we drop a post, just by turning on the notifications. That is something that you guys have asked, how to get notifications. You can also do that on Instagram by clicking on the little three dots here and turn on post notifications. So that's just some stuff you've asked us for. If you're new to this channel, you can click the bell next to subscribe and get notified when we drop a YouTube video. This is what you guys have asked us for, how to get notified. That's how you do it. Yeah. So we'll see you guys next time.